I've got everything set up. All good. I finally watched Bathurst. That was a good race.
Like a broken wheel, lost in the chaos, no grip, no feel. Beat shouting order, Sam still checked out. It's a miracle, anything gets it out. Backfire, it's all a mess. Broadcast the circus, can't second guess. Wobbly kneecap stumbles in the haze. Nobody knows who's steering this craze. Backfire, it's all a mess. Broadcast the circus, can't second guess. Wobbly kneecap stumbles in the haze. Nobody knows who's steering this craze.
Cool. I'm good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to rounds 9 and 10 of the V8ESC Season 17 from the Red Bull Ring. I am Tyler Dewitt. I'm joined here in the booth and on the cameras by Sam Boozin. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
Sam got to take a nice vacation from doing the so we're a little he's a little discombobulated, but we're back. Sam's where he belongs, running the cameras and taking care of everything better than I could. So we are coming off of or coming into the second penultimate round of the season with the finale at Imola coming up in 3 weeks time. But first we've got to get through Red Bull Ring. So why don't we take a look at the standings and see where everyone sits as we head towards that close of the season. And we've got Simon Trendle sitting on top as expected, I would say. Pretty unsurprising to see Simon up there near the top. We've got Eric Blixt in second. And Chris Shaw with a strong showing, sitting third in the standings, ahead of Rob Woodhouse and Michael Haflidason. Harley Davidson had a tough go of it last time out at Thruxton. Well, had an incredible race one, dominated and won from the pole, but unfortunately had a much tougher time of it in race 2. So you can see really Simon well and truly in front. With Eric the only very close contender, although with 2 rounds here and then double points for the endurance round at Imola, still a lot can change should Simon run into some bad luck. But speaking of Simon, currently sitting third in qualifying, behind his main championship rival, who's sitting in first, Eric Blixt. We take a look, just these initial opening laps, you're not going to see, I don't think we've seen the pole time set yet, Sam.
Probably not. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't tried anything. I don't even know what time we are looking for right now for qualifying. I don't know if you have a bit more information looking at the V8 chat, but I've been extra busy this week, so I haven't taken a look at Discord at all.
Well, I was out of town on a work trip until yesterday, so no, I haven't been keeping up with what we should be looking for. Yeah, I have no idea what we're expecting to see. It's a 31.7 from Eric at the moment, looking pretty close in the qualifying standings at the moment. So we've got people putting laps in. I think we're showing the relative gaps there. Just trying to figure out what my timing tower's being a little weird. Yeah, it looks like something weird's going on with the timing tower here. I'm seeing people drop in and out. But
I have that a few times now in qualifying. I don't know why, honestly, because everything's up to date for me. I've got all the cars showing in iRacing. And I've had that last time I broadcast as well. Everybody popping on and off for some reason.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we can tell you it is Eric still on top. Although Simon just put in a best sector 1, so he's on a hot lap at the moment. Yeah, Eric on top with a 31.7, then Michael Harley Davidson with a 31.8, and Simon with a 31.9. So, yeah, not sure what's going on with the timing tower, but we are seeing times come in for just about everybody. We do have a pretty solid grid. I'm showing 18 drivers registered, although 3 of them have not been on track in qualifying yet. Jeff Saunders, who I think has missed qualifying the last couple of rounds. Daniel Solo and Ivan Bauman's also haven't set times. But Simon's on a quick lap here with 2 purple sectors coming around the last couple corners. Ooh, I don't know where the track limit is. He looked like he's still pushing, so I think he's within. I think the curb is within it there, but he's on a hot lap. He's given a tow though to our current pole sitter Eric Blixt, who comes in. Neither improves on a time, so it was a slower last sector there for Simon. Sorry, it was an improvement for Simon, but not enough to improve his position. I am showing that right now Eric Blixt has a 1/1000th of a second margin over his teammate Michael Haflidason there. So things pretty tight at the top here between our kind of main championship contenders, it looks like.
It does look pretty close, especially with the 1000 between the first and second, the 2 teammates. I did again last time I watched the V8 supercars for at V8ESC. They were, I think, first and second as well in the line. So they're showing off some good pace, but we'll see what Simon can do about that. He's, as you said, he's currently leading the championship. So he's the guy to beat in the races, but definitely some good people in front of him in qualifying.
Yeah, and what Simon sometimes is missing a little bit in raw qualifying pace, he usually more than makes up for in the race. So, you know, I think, honestly, in my opinion, Simon being within a 10th of the pole time should be concerning for those guys on the front row. Though we've seen Eric also able to really dominate in these races. The Alcantech drivers have been a great addition to the grid this year. Obviously, Eric has done a few races with us in the past, but bringing along Michael and Daniel with him to compete, and I believe, although we didn't look at it, I believe they are leading the team championship as Alcantech, presumably over Team Chimera, since that's who normally up near the front, especially with Simon's big points lead. But it's yeah, it's been a great to have them in this this shortened season for season 17 of V8ESC.
And they're definitely leading the team's championship with over 200 points on either race Racing Forces, which is
true. Yep.
Only 8 points ahead of Team Camera. So there's a big fight for the second place in the team championship. But yeah, we'll see what the Alcantech guys can do today. But if they get good results in both races, I think they will wrap up the team's championship this time around. Because well, we only have one meeting more after this one. But we'll see what happens into the race, obviously.
Yeah, now, important for that second place battle, no sign of Kenzie Newhoff on the entry today. So that'll be a big blow for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Obviously, they still have David Burns, who's currently 4th in the times. But that'll be tough for them. I think Ivan is their only other potential point scorer they have on the grid today for Racing Forces. Yeah, so they won't totally miss out with Ivan on the grid, assuming Ivan is able to race. He hasn't put in a lap yet in qualifying, but assuming Ivan's able to race, he'll earn some points. It'll really be David versus Simon and Ivan versus Jamie, I think, for that second place battle in the team's championship.
Yeah, definitely. According to previous results, I would say it's advantage Team Chimera for today. But
Yeah, but we've certainly seen it's certainly not out of the question for Simon or Jamie to have a tough race. And with so few point scoring opportunities, it can really make a big impact on those final standings. So
yeah,
it's certainly possible. We've got a new fastest lap. Michael Harley-Davidson beating out his teammate Eric Blixt by the huge margin of 8/100ths of a second, as opposed to the 1/1000th gap he was behind before. So Alcantech looking like they're on their way to another front row lockout here, and Eric is still going. He's still trying to see if he can recapture that provisional pole position. Ooh,
yeah, that's enough.
That looked very wide. Yeah, I think don't think this lap's going to count for Eric. We'll see. He's still pushing across the line, but maybe just setting up the next lap. Either way, that lap was on par with his best. So
it was deleted, I think, because there's no time on his DK.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's invalidate the next one or not on that corner, because I know there's some places they can invalidate the next lap if you actually go off track on one of the last corners. So
yeah, I think because it was before the actual final corner, he'll probably be all right. He's certainly pushing on with a personal best sector 1 time, so definitely not slowing down as if it's been invalidated. So we do have, I believe, a new driver on the grid, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but don't think we've seen Craig Lautenschlager before.
I don't know, that names feel familiar to me.
Okay. Well, apologies, Craig, if if you have been here before, but certainly not.
Well, I think I murdered his name last time we broadcasted, so
okay.
That's why I do think I remember his name. But I might be wrong, but that's not a common name, so.
Yeah, well, one way or another, welcome to the grid for Craig, even if it's a welcome back. But looks like another invalidated lap for. No, he did set a time that time around, but it was not an improvement. So with qualifying just about done, don't think we're going to see a challenge to Michael Harley-Davidson for pole position, but still a few drivers pushing on. Yeah. I think he did race at Belle Isle. I do remember the livery. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Craig has been on the grid before, but certainly new this season, I believe. So I'll stake my claim on that.
In time, there is. I don't remember the livery, but I do remember a race. I checked on the website, and he actually scored points, so I was right. Yes.
All right. Well, we've got our grid for race number 1, and it's an all Alcantech front row. Don't believe that's the first time this season. They have been rapid in qualifying, but once we get the grid up here, we'll go through it.
Yeah, my command doesn't sound so.
There we go. So it is Michael Haflidason for Alcantech, alongside his teammate Eric Blixt, with Simon Trendle and Rob Woodhouse taking up row number 2. Then it's David Burns, the lead Hydro Race Racing Forces driver, as we mentioned, going for second in that team's championship alongside Stephen Phillips. Nice qualifying for Stephen. That's pretty high up. And then it's Stephen Walker for BSTV Esports alongside Tony Klusterman in row number 4, with Jamie Wilson and Greg Carr rounding out the top 10. Anthony Woodward in 11th and Vince Skilbeck in 12th. Behind them is Craig Lautenschlager and Daniel Solo, who did end up setting a lap time, although it was a bit of a struggle for him in qualifying there. Then it's a pair of BSTV esports drivers in Tony Walker and Rob Venn, with Ivan Baumans and Jeff Saunders not setting lap times in qualifying, so they'll take up the back of the grid. I do see we have Ivan on the grid. Not sure if we will see Jeff lining up for this race, but we'll have either 17 or 18 drivers taking the grid for this one. Just waiting on really the front row here. The Alcantech drivers leaving it till the last minute to grid, keep the tires nice and warm.
Nice long reading time.
Don't see Jeff Saunders, so looks like we're going to have a 17 car grid here as the lights are coming up for round number 9, and they're off. It's a poor start for Michael Harley-Davidson from the pole. He's going to lose out big time here. Oh, little contact with Simon. Everybody gets sorted out. There's a BSTV esports driver making a huge dive up the inside. I think that was Rob Venn. Ended up backing out of it, and no harm, no foul there. But Michael Harley-Davidson down to 4th while this pack fights behind them. Side by side for second, Rob Woodhouse with a great start as he gets the jump on Simon. And that's not going to help Simon's championship fight there. He wants to stick as close to Eric Blixt as possible. Back in the pack, it's Jamie Wilson fighting Stephen Walker and Ant Woodward. This is for 7th position. And it looks like Jamie will get the better of Stephen there. Vince alongside Tony Klusterman here for the last spot in the top 10. Of course, that is the reverse grid poll, but a lot still to play out before we have to think about that.
19 minutes to go. Still a long way.
Vince holds on to the spot for now. Tony has actually dropped back quite a ways from his grid spot. He's down 3 positions. Greg Carr down 5 positions. So not a great start for the NQR drivers, specifically the NQR North America drivers. Ant's done really well, up 4 spots, and Rob Woodhouse up 2 into 2nd place. So the European counterparts of NQR doing a little bit better off the jump. Good clean start though after a couple messy ones at Thruxton and Belle Isle. It's nice to see everyone make it through the first lap. No incidental spins or anything like that. So that's what we come to expect from this group, right? The messy starts are a bit out of the ordinary for a group of drivers this competent.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the messy starts are more because of the track rather than the drivers. We know Bella is really complicated to actually get a proper start with everybody all good, especially as we've got both starts on the same evening. One of the 2 went well at Valentine. The first one was gay. The second one was a bit more messy, but yeah, it's usually properly good, and it was to be expected with this track. It's a bit more, it's a bit wider, and although turn 1 is pretty difficult when you've got a massive grid heading towards it, you can have some trouble at the hairpin, but they all managed that straight through pretty good. A lot of side-by-side we've seen for almost the whole first lap, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Fastest lap last time around for Michael Harley-Davidson, as he is trying to recover after he started on pole but got swamped at the start. A lot of wheel spin, and he's starting to pressure Simon Trendle who is putting the pressure himself on Rob Woodhouse. I don't think Simon's worried about Michael right at this point. He knows his fight is in front of him. There's a lot of passing opportunities around here, certainly on the corner they just have been through, but also turn 1 and turn 3 at the top of the hill as well. So lots of opportunities. Though through here, you're probably going to want to avoid going side by side. It is the trouble with Red Bull Ring is that so many of the corners are off cambered that you really can't afford to go side by side without losing a ton of time. So passing has got to happen on the brakes, or else you're going to be missing out.
Familiar looking battle, although the third car is not the same. Battle for turn 8 and 9 with Jamie and Stephen Walker.
Yeah, it's often Rob Venn in this battle for BSTV Esports, but this time it's Stephen Walker putting the pressure on Jamie, and it's been good. We've seen Stephen really put in some solid performances as a new driver to the Gen 3 cars. It's been good to see. Up here, though, Simon's finally got the run on Rob Woodhouse. Should be able to get it done on the brakes here. And keeps it side by side, which is going to leave the door open for and he will. So, yeah, good effort by Rob Woodhouse there to hold on to that third position, and that'll help Simon build a gap, I think.
Well, it's definitely going to help Simon trying to breach the gap that's already over 2 seconds now with Eric at the front.
A little bit of contact there from Vince on the back of Daniel Solo, who is up 4 positions after qualifying 14th, and that's more what we'd expect. Daniel's been quick, but as we mentioned, didn't get a lap in until right at the end of qualifying, so he's still pushing forward. As to the inside goes Daniel Solo, he'll get another spot there.
Yeah, I think really clever.
Oh, sorry, that was the other.
Yeah, it was.
Other
yeah,
Alcantech battle. Yeah, that was Michael Halfledason going by Rob Woodhouse. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how.
I don't know if your connection is a bit poor, Tyler, or something's wrong with Discord, but I'm losing you a few times now.
Yeah, I think it might be my push to talk button.
It might be that too, yes.
Yeah, let me just take a minute here and get it rerouted and see if it does any better.
The inside Rob Van on Ivan. Nice, clean move. I was about to say, like Bob Woodhouse did exactly what you expect when, you know, the move is done, diving on the inside as Michael did. He just left the door a little bit open and tucked behind him, tried to follow him as close as possible and try to keep up with the front group. I think it's probably the best thing he can do because there's Stephen Phillips behind, and they're probably on the same page together, like Stephen and Rob Woodhouse, but Stephen's fighting with David Burns, which is probably gonna slow him down a little bit. And if Bob can stay with these two, which he's trying to lose, he's actually now losing the contact with this battle. Oh no, that's Simon.
Ooh.
Sideways, and Tyler is back. Oh, and that's
that's
yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, good news for Rob Woodhouse there, and honestly, I you know, I think that's an all's fair thing. Obviously, Michael getting run off a little bit by Simon there, but considering who initiated the contact that had Simon out of control, I think I don't think there's any, you know, any danger in the balance there as far as like a penalty is concerned. And Simon's done well here around the outside at the top of the hill to try and get alongside Rob, but now opens himself up. And, you know, we all know this, Sam, when you heat up those tires with a sideways moment like Simon has, that thing is not going to feel good for a few laps as he tries to keep up to pace with tires that are way overheated.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. But he's making it work. A little bit of a touch and another one. I think these two got something to sell to each other.
Yeah, a little bit of beef here, it seems like, with
yeah, and again,
and, you know, it isn't lost on us that, you know, Michael is teammate to the current race leader, and current second place in the championship, Eric Blixt. So a lot of incentive for the Alcantech driver here to fight hard with Simon, and I'm sure Simon knows that too. But he is clearly struggling with some overheated tires.
I'm gonna try to launch that back from above, but I don't think that's the one. I think it's early.
I mean, there was so much so much going on between these two that hard to just pick a moment here, but
I think that's the one.
Yeah, so they're coming up to the top of the hill. Simon defending to the inside, and ooh, yeah, that's tough to say. Simon did come back a little bit.
Yeah, that's a bit of both, honestly.
Yeah, that's you know, it's one of those, you understand you're fighting hard in these cars that are on the edge of control most of the time, and stuff like that's bound to happen. So in the end, you know, I think no harm, no foul, and they're certainly both continuing on here. And Simon's a cool customer. He knows what to do, and he's going to try and get back what points he can in this one. Just get as close to Eric as possible.
Yeah, I think the issue is that he's running the solar panel again, and there's not much sun in the sky right now, so it's probably a big issue for him.
Well, the good news, of course, is that there's no pit stop in race number 1, so he can compensate for that in race number 2. Gets the move done there on Stephen Phillips, so that's one position back as he continues working back towards the front.
Yeah, and the tires probably cooled off a little bit now.
Now, Ant, I believe, was ahead of Jamie and Steven last time we saw this battle, so something's gone on here. Maybe just some regular old overtakes, but ooh, now Ant down the inside. That's, as we were saying, these off-cambered corners, that's not a place you really want to be side by side, and I think Ant wisely backed out of that one. But you got the feeling when Ant was in front that he was a little bit of a cork in the bottle, but now Jamie's in front and it seems like Jamie's the cork in the bottle. So maybe it's just a case where all these drivers are just on a very similar pace, and it's tough to overtake even around here where there's a number of good overtaking spots. You still often rely on a mistake from the driver ahead. So good little battle pack here, and we'll see how it shakes out as the race goes on. And important to remember as well, the back of this group is the reverse grid pole position, currently held by Daniel Solo, with Tony Klusterman trying to overhaul him for that spot.
Nice little battle that we keep an eye on through the race, but there's battle for P2 right now, and Stephen Phillips coming in back at Simon Trendle.
Yeah, great for Steven not rolling over against Simon here. It can be tough sometimes, you know, and I've been in this position before where you're up against someone who is as quick as Simon is, and you think, you know, they get by you and you're right, all right, now focus focus behind me. But in this case, Steven keeping the pressure on Simon, and really that's not good news for Simon, who could be taking advantage here of Rob Woodhouse holding up Michael Haflidason. Instead, Simon's finding himself actually losing ground. That gap was about 1.5 seconds. Now it's out to 2.5 seconds. So not good news for Simon here. And now Michael looking to the inside. He'll be able to get this move done. And don't think he's got the pace to chase down his teammate here with 5 seconds in the bag. But we'll certainly see. He'll be happy to recover to second, I'm sure.
I'm not sure he will want to actually get the place from his teammate, because, as you said, Eric is fighting for the championship with Simon. So at the team point of view, you may want the best shot at the championship to stay in front, but I don't know if they've got something going on in the team or not. That's something else. We may have to ask them at some point if they actually fight for the position now that the championship is a bit more defined in a way than in previous races.
Yeah, but it's worth remembering. I mean, Michael is, I believe we said he's either 4th or 5th in the championship, and Chris Shaw isn't here today. So there we go. Yeah, 5th in the championship. Chris Shaw isn't here today, and he's battling with Rob Woodhouse. Now he's finally got him cleared. So definitely still valuable points up for grabs here for Michael, and not sure, as you said, not sure how that'll play into the team orders in race number 2, but it'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Just having fun on the channel as well. The V8 are the best car. Whatever wheel drive is, they are the best cars.
Well,
they're not little
no
toys to play around with.
There's no such thing as a good front-wheel drive car, so it's easy to extrapolate from the best rear-wheel drive car to the best car overall, I would say. So.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We're joking, obviously. Jay is not commentating on V8s, and I don't think he drives V8 either. So, yeah, no Jay on Saturdays.
Yeah, he'll be back on Wednesday though, I assume. I don't know their broadcast schedule in detail, but I'm pretty sure he's there most Wednesdays. So,
unless he's under the weather, he's there. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So. Stephen Walker's still putting the pressure on Jamie Wilson. This battle's been going on for a while, and I don't think it'll be done until this race is over in about 3 minutes' time. So, but they are actually catching that train in front of them. I don't know if Simon is trying to back him up to Jamie, or Jamie's just got the pace to run him down. But they're making good ground on that group ahead. It's getting close to within the tow range down the long straights you have here.
Yeah, they're closing on the group ahead, and the group ahead is closing down on Michael and Rob Woodhouse, which is interesting, because it was over 2 seconds when you talked about it, like Simon being over 2 seconds behind Rob, and now he's only like 1.2. So they're all getting close to each other right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because there's no incentive for Michael or Rob or Simon to be holding everybody up, which just suggests that, I mean, the three of them have been battling extremely hard all race, and you just wonder if they've maybe taken the best out of the tires, and Jamie and Steven and Ant have saved a little bit more. But yeah, as you said, this is going to be pretty close before this race is over. I think we should have... Ooh, it's going to be tight. I think we might be getting the white flag this time around. So maybe not enough time for Jamie to make up the difference there. But if anyone makes a mistake in one of those leading groups, there's a lot of cars there to capitalize, and even the risk of falling out of the reverse grid. So I didn't see the white
Yeah,
flag.
it was. I saw.
It was? All right. So last lap here. Oh, Steven making the move now on Jamie. Decided it was time to go. Not too surprising given we've just started the last lap. And these two will race fair. We know both of them are good, clean racers. But that's going to open the door to Ant, as we saw Daniel Solo have a big moment behind. He's defending from Tony Kloosterman. That's for the reverse grid pole position, so a lot to play for here. Tony looking to the inside as they head up the hill. Daniel's going to keep that outside position. Oh, Tony was late on the brakes. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. But Daniel gets run off.
I saw Jamie lock the brake into the hairpin.
Yeah, and now they've both lost out to Ant, or at least he's alongside.
Oh.
Takes a dive. Oh, slides it up outside. And so this battle now is going to potentially catch up to Ant here. We might have a 3-car battle for the reverse grid pole as Daniel holds on for the time being. Don't know where to put our eyes as Steven and Jamie still going at it.
That little bit on the outside from Jamie was insane.
Yeah.
Because that's a tough one to pull out, honestly.
Yeah, and Eric drifting around the final corner is going to cruise to victory here ahead of likely his teammate. Yep, Michael's got that secured. But what have we got behind them? It looks like Jamie's going to pull it off. Jamie's going to pull it off, and Daniel Solo's just barely going to hold on for the reverse grid pole position. Now, that's going to be an interesting dynamic, Sam, because we've got 2 Alcantech cars coming from the back of the reverse grid, but we've also got an Alcantech car starting on the pole.
That's really interesting. I'm surprised by Rob's position, finishing last.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling for pace. I don't know if it's just a lack of practice or if there's something else going on with him, but you know, he's not normally that far off. So yeah, here's your race 1 results for round 9. Eric Blixt is your winner by about 6.5 seconds over his teammate Michael Haflidason. Then it's Rob Woodhouse for NQR getting some valuable points and rounding out the podium. Simon Trendle comes home in 4th ahead of Stephen Phillips. David Burns ends up in 6th, followed by Jamie Wilson, Stephen Walker, Ant Woodward, and Daniel Solo rounding out the top 10. And that'll be your reverse grid pole for race number 2. Tony Kloosterman just missed out in P11, then Vince Skilbeck, who, bit of a quiet race for Vince. I don't feel like we showed him that much, which sometimes is a good thing given how his season has gone. But Greg Carr in 13th, Tony Walker in 14th, Ivan Bauman's from last on the grid up to 15th, then Craig Lautenslager, Rob Venn, and Jeff Saunders, who didn't take the start.
Well, that was an interesting first race.
It certainly was. The funniest thing about it is I'm pretty sure everyone in the top 10 ended the last lap in the same positions they started the last lap, but they were not in those same positions for all of the last lap.
Yes. That's what made it really interesting. I think Jamie lost 2 positions and then getting them back.
Yes.
That was something. Tony passing and then being passed by Daniel.
And gained 2 positions and then lost them immediately.
Yes, that as well.
We also, I think, had Michael Haflidason and Rob Woodhouse, if not side by side, close to it at some point. So lots going on, but ultimately shook out the same as it started, which is pretty funny.
I do hope these cars have better lives than they do have in real life. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle for the drivers. Except for Ivan. Ivan is fine. He's used to it. Yeah, for those
They're-
who don't have the
famously,
reference, yeah,
famously drove without lights for pretty much the whole race at Le Mans, if I remember correctly.
yes, exactly. Although I think on this side, he still had these lights, but on the broadcast for everybody else, he had no lights for the whole race,
Yes.
which was kind of funny.
Yeah, I honestly I don't think I've driven these cars at night, so I don't know how good the lights are. They seem okay from outside the cars at this vantage point, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Well, at least for now, the visibility is not too bad, but I'm expecting the race to be pretty dark. We will blame Pete on that.
As we always do.
Of course, but he's setting the sessions up, so it's his fault. Sorry, Pete.
Yeah.
Not even sure he's watching. I don't think he is, but he's pretty busy on the weekends. But
He's going to roll up to the final round with no insight on what has happened so far this season.
Yeah, we're gonna tell him Ivan is first in the championship. You know, I'm gonna make a fake website and all with all false informations.
Well, you are the
minus
website admin.
500 points. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be fun. The good news is I was not supposed to be around for final round, but I might just be. So maybe I'll get one more drive in before the season's done. That'll be fun.
Good. Or you do the cameras and I drive. No,
I mean, in
I'm
fairness,
joking.
you did already do that for me once this season, so.
That's true.
And,
I was supposed to
we'll
race
work it
that
out.
race, but I did something else instead. No, it's fine. Don't worry. Race it. I'm fine. Because right now I want to race it, and when it comes to practice, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Imola is one of those tracks that I absolutely love driving around, and I'm usually pretty slow. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes if I put in a bit of practice. But I gotta say, I think this might be a unpopular opinion. I'm not a fan of the Red Bull Ring. I will say that it does tend to make for pretty good racing, so I can respect it in that sense. But I don't really enjoy driving around it.
It's not the most fun track ever. No, I agree with you. I've got nothing against
It's
it,
tough.
but yeah, it's a bit meh.
Yeah, it's tough because it's, you know, you kind of tick off the boxes on paper, like it's got elevation changes, it's got a good variety of corner types, you know, it's got some interesting scenery, but for whatever reason, it just never clicks for me. I think for me the trouble, and we mentioned it in race 1, the trouble is just that every corner is off camber, it feels like, and it just for me, those become harder to. There's less. It just means that there's one defined line you can take through the corner, right? And it's hard to innovate or try different things to find time. It's basically you take the line that is the obvious line, and that's all you can do. So I think for me that's my problem with the track, is that it's just too many prescribed lines through the corners because they're all off camber. And of course it's the classic Tilke track with miles of runoff, and you know, that's a problem too. But yeah, just never really clicked for me. But certainly an entertaining race 1, and it has put on plenty of entertaining races in the past.
So, as we've got 3 minutes to go in the warm-up before we switch on to the grid, what do you think of the new Supra?
Press the wrong push to talk button since I changed it. I think it looks great. I think it's going to be really neat. I look forward to it, you know, shaking up the series. It's going to be really interesting with, you know, I think you think of Brad Jones, right? Obviously, Walkinshaw is going to be the main homologation team
Yep.
for the car, but to me, the much bigger story is Brad Jones Racing going to the Supra, because I picture
that surprised me. Yes. Well, Wintergatan surprised me first because they've been they did make the move from the Olden when it was they switched to Chevy, so they went themselves to the Mustang, which was first a big move from the Olden racing team, basically the HRT. And now they're making the move again to go with the Supra, which is super interesting. But yeah, Brad Jones Racing was a surprise, and honestly a nice surprise. So that means we're gonna have 6 Supras next year in the V8 supercars. I like that. The only thing that I think is really interesting is how they will balance the aero on these cars. Because the Mustang and the Camaros are 2 big blocks, basically. And the Supras have some nice lines, some curves, so it's really, really different.
I think that's being a bit unfair to the Mustang, which is really quite trim. Obviously, it's still a big American muscle car, but it's much more much smoother, I guess you could say, than the Camaro. But I honestly, I really like the direction that Supercars has gone, and that a lot of series have gone with, letting the cars look different, look like the cars they're supposed to represent on the streets, and just do the work to balance them in the aero department. And obviously that's still imperfect, and I'm sure there will be a lot of parity adjustments in the first season, but I think it's great, and I think the new Supra is a good-looking car.
And it will provide some changes from the 2 American ones. They used to have Volvos, Mercedes, and all kind of stuff, which I think is a shame they lost all that diversity. And that will conclude with the one I'm concluding.
Yeah, no real representative times as usual. But yeah, I mean the Volvo V8 supercar is, in my opinion, the greatest race car of all time, and I will die on that hill. So you won't get any arguments from me there. All right, we'll get our grid up here for the feature race. It's as we mentioned, it's an Alcantech driver on pole, just a different one from race number 1. It's Daniel Solo who will take this race from the lead. He'll be joined on the front row by Anthony Woodward, followed up by Stephen Walker and Jamie Wilson. They'll get to continue that battle all the way into race 2 here. Then it's David Burns and Stephen Phillips. Under the radar, but a really, really great result for Stephen Phillips there. And I hope he can carry it over into race 2 as well. Simon Trendle in P7 alongside Rob Woodhouse, then Michael Haflidason and Eric Blixt rounding out your top 10. Tony Klusterman just missing out on the reverse in P11 will be joined on row 6 by Vincent Skilbeck. Then it's Greg Carr and Tony Walker in 13th and 14th, Ivan Baumans and Craig Lautenslager 15th and 16th, and Rob Venn on the last row. Don't think we'll see Jeff Saunders. He hasn't been in any of the races so far, but if he does, he'll roll off in P18.
So it's going to be a really interesting race, this one in the dark, because there's no light at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, it'll certainly be a new challenge. I always enjoy night racing, but you do wonder how much these drivers have practiced, because it can really change your your reference points if something's not in the scope of your headlights that you're using as a brake marker or a turn-in marker or something like that. So it'll be interesting for sure.
And one of my favorite night racing is the start of the Bathurst Trevor race. I think that's just amazing. Yes. Well, I'm sure you agree with that, but
yes. Here we go. Lights are coming on. It'll be Daniel Solo off the front of the grid. Can he convert? as the lights come out. Ooh, looked like a poor start from both of the front row, but not as bad as Jamie Wilson, who's dropping back. Ooh, and it's a black flag for Ant Woodward. Must have been a jump start there.
Yeah, I think I saw him moving, and I wasn't sure at the time. I was wondering if it was a lag on my side, or I'm actually bumped out. But yeah, he did mess that up.
That's a tough break for Ant. This is a mess coming up the hill. Are they going to be able to sort it out? I think it's Simon on the outside of Jamie there.
Yeah,
and in the end gets boxed out by his teammate, and both of the Chimera cars are going to lose out big time here. So it's Ant Woodward currently leading, but he's going to have to come to pit road and serve that penalty, which means it'll be Stephen Walker as the provisional leader ahead of David Burns and Stephen Phillips here fighting for what will be second place. And now we see Daniel Solo diving to the inside of Jamie Wilson. So somewhere in there, Daniel Solo lost a bunch of ground, but it wasn't off the line. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Maybe he ran wide in turn one or something. But obviously started on pole. Ooh, big wiggle there. As we see Eric hanging it around the outside. That's tough to do, and he pulled it off. So great move from Eric to get him not only in front of Jamie, but in front of Simon as well. As Ant comes to the pits to serve his penalty, there's contact between the Chimera cars. That was Jamie getting pushed out wide, and I'm sure Simon will apologize, but he's got to go. Eric's already ahead of him, and he'll be well aware of the championship situation he's in right now.
This is even more hectic than the first race.
It does often go that way in race number 2.
Yep.
With the reverse grid, it can be quite a battle, as we see Michael Haflidason making the move on Stephen Phillips here. So Michael, the furthest up of the kind of back of the reverse grid starters, he's up to third already. So quick progress through the field there. Little hip and shoulder there between Ant Woodward and Rob Venn. Oh, Rob got up and over the exit curbing there, just spat him. Fortunate to not hit Ant there, but a tough break for Rob, who is just not having a very fun day, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think the jump start, and I know that it's a tough one. But I have to say, these cars look amazing in the dark.
They do. Yeah, they definitely do. As we see, this feels like, I don't know, foreboding to have Michael Haflidason here already putting the pressure on David Burns for second. We know he's quick, and probably, I would say only his teammate Eric Blixt is on Michael's pace from what we've seen so far. So if he can get to the front, it'll be very, very tough for anyone to overhaul him, I think. Now Daniel Solo putting the pressure on Stephen Phillips here. This is for fourth position. As in front, his teammate makes the move for second. Oh, didn't quite get it done. And so they'll stay side by side heading down the straight here. David's going to challenge around the outside, so definitely not move done yet. But now Michael clear into second place, and he'll probably pull away pretty quick.
Well, it will be interesting to see if it's actually pretty quick or not. Because if you remember, at the end of last race, well, just the one that just finished like 15 minutes ago, that group with Stephen Phillips, Danny Burns, they catched up to the guy in
It's true. Of course, you do actually get the benefit of a pit stop and some fresh tires here. So if you use them up in the first stint, you will get some fresh boots for the second half. But Simon putting the pressure here on Eric Blixt, and Eric's going to want to get by his teammate here, whose attack was refuted by Stephen Phillips that last time around, and Eric can't really afford to wait. So it'll be interesting to see if Daniel lets him through here as Eric tries to make his way back up to the front. And Daniel's early on the brakes there, in behind Stephen Phillips, so kind of had to be. But Eric gets through, and Simon does as well. So
yeah, Simon almost did not make it.
Yeah,
I saw him inside Daniel, honestly.
Yeah, it got quite congested at the top of the hill, but Simon should be able to finish this one now, especially as Eric runs wide. Oh, Daniel's spun. Oh, and just gets collected there. I think that was Tony Kloosterman.
It is Tony.
Yeah, it was. So tough break there for Tony. And nothing Daniel did wrong there, aside from spinning. He held the brakes, and it's just a tough spot because that's a corner that you naturally, push to the outside of the corner, and he was just sitting there. So, yeah, tough break for both of those drivers. Yeah, just carried. That is so easy to do in these cars. Yeah, nowhere for Tony to go except bail into the gravel, I guess. But we've talked about it before, but these cars, if you miss your brake marker and just carry a little bit too much speed in, it's so hard to get that rear axle slowed down, and you can try and pull it back with some engine braking, but there comes a point where you're just past the point of no return, and you get that lazy slide where the rear axle is locking up and you just sort of drift around. And unfortunately for Daniel, that's what happened there. He was obviously trying to leave it late on the brakes to challenge Simon around the outside, but it just didn't work out for him. The battle continues. Stephen Phillips holding on to fourth place, doing a great job here. We've already seen him under pressure from Daniel Solo, now feeling the heat from Eric Blixt. That's going to be tough, but he's also hanging on to the back of David Burns and Michael Haflidason. So no one really seeming to have, pull away speed like we saw from Eric in race number 1. Obviously, Eric's still working his way through the field, and that might come later, but Stephen Walker out in front, just kind of pacing things for BSTV Esports here. You imagine everybody's saving fuel. It's a very flat out track, high fuel use. So I would guess, we obviously don't have any inside information this week, but I would guess the pit window is going to be pretty small, and you'll see people saving to just try and stretch that a little bit.
As they usually do. Well, at least I think so.
Yeah, you often see these kind of trains in race number 2 where it wouldn't surprise me if now, everyone's kind of maybe not happy with the position they're in, but content to ride around for a while, do some saving, and try and make up spots in the pit lane and or put themselves on a better strategy for the second stint. Stephen just losing a little bit of ground there on David Burns through the first part of the lap, and increasingly coming under pressure from Eric Blixt. It's one of those things that definitely feels like a matter of time, but we saw some really stout defending from Stephen in race number 1, so I wouldn't expect this to be easy from Eric. I would think he'll be, especially since he can see the lead out in front of him, he'll probably be okay to ride back here and save a little bit for trying to make up some ground in the pit stop.
Oh, definitely. I think it's one of the best strategies. Try to sit behind and maybe not push as much, because we saw it in the first race. The speed difference is not that great, and we know how hard it is to overtake. Although that's an opportunity now, coming to the last corner. But apparently, it's not gonna happen this lap. The speed on the straight is about the same for the two guys, Stephen Phillips and Eric. Although later on the brakes, but it's not going to happen in turn 1. A little touch, a bit sideways. And
I think Stephen was checked up by David Burns there. We couldn't really see him from the onboard angle, but now, after all that, Simon going around Eric and Stephen trying to go around David Burns, so just all of a sudden everything happening just from one little bobble in turn number 1. and they stay side by side. Simon's got a good run out here, but he's going to be in the compromise line and behind David Burns. So we'll wait to see how it all shakes out. Eric definitely going to be late on the brakes here, but so is Simon. And Steven, oh, he just tried to block him off, and instead he's going to open the door for Eric to try and slip through. So big loser in all that. David Burns drops 3 spots as Steven trying to hold the inside and does so.
Oh, and the cutback from Simon was good, but got denied.
Yeah, and just had to back out of it because, as we've mentioned, you know, all these corners off camber, you don't want to slide out into Eric and risk an incident there. So after all that, Stephen Phillips finds himself back in a podium position in 3rd place, and Michael Haflidason finds himself with 2.5 second gap, which he'll be pretty pleased with.
Yeah, it might be good for him. I mean, we know he's about as fast, if not faster, than Eric and Simon. So with that gap before the pit stop, he's not gonna lose it in the pit stop, unless he makes a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also probably gives him license to go after Stephen Walker here. You know, he's got the gap now. He can put the pressure on as Stephen Phillips, defending hard, again opens the door for Simon to go around the outside. And I think Simon should be able to get this done and maybe even challenge Stephen for 3rd place here. So big gain there for Simon. Smart racing, seeing Stephen Phillips defending hard to just take advantage of that. Ooh, big dive from Rob Woodhouse on David Burns there. So that's another spot lost for David.
Yeah,
as Stephen Phillips Stephen Phillips once again holding on to 3rd place, just doing a fabulous job defending here. Is Stephen, and it helps that he seems to be very quick this weekend. Obviously, maybe not quite the pace of the race leaders in Michael and Eric and Simon, but good enough to hold his own here for sure. And we did miss it, but we did have a pass for the lead. Michael Haflidason is through, and Stephen Walker's losing ground fast. I don't know if there was some contact there, or maybe Stephen ran wide and got some gravel on the tires.
Yeah, I think we saw that on the side. He overshot this corner, got a wobble, and went onto the gravel just a little bit.
Yeah. So easy pickings for Michael, though, who will now have the chance to really stretch the lead as we've got the battle here between, believe this is Ivan Baumans and Tony Walker. But now back up to the front where Eric is back around Simon. So really, this is music to Michael Haflidason's ears. These two scrapping for 3rd place, because they really seem to be at about the same pace, and they can't pull away from each other, which just means they're opening that gap for Michael out front. Ooh, but Simon running wide there is going to open the door potentially for Rob Woodhouse, but he can't quite make it happen. So just cooled down for the moment with a little mistake from Simon there. This is one of those races where you just feel bad for everyone who's not in this insane battle pack, because you know where the attention's going to go, and obviously, you know, we've got people having good races further afield in either direction, but sometimes it just doesn't get you the camera love. It is a good pack here, though. Tony Walker and Rob Venn from BSTV Esports leading Ivan Bauman, so they were able to make that happen because I believe it was Ivan ahead of Tony just a lap ago. But both he and Rob have been able to get through here. This is for 14th spot. But now Eric, once again, closing in on Stephen Phillips. But he knows at this point that Stephen's not going to let him by too easy.
One feature is missing from the cameras in the field virtually on iRacing is the right front flicking light. I don't know if you've seen that in the real ones, but at least half of them have the front right flickering. which bugs me.
Oh, I haven't. Like from the onboard cameras with the yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
No. The front right headlight. Well, not the
Yeah.
main headlight, but the small one. If you know, well, the bottom one.
Okay.
It's flickering, at least on 2 of the Brad Jones Racing mobiles, and a few
Okay.
other in the field. That bugs me all the time. And it was like that in batters for like the whole race, and I was like, "Geez, come on, man!"
Oh.
What?
Oh, that I think was Stephen Walker trying to come to pit lane. Got a shove from Stephen Phillips, who was trying to make the pass happen.
Let's try to watch that from above.
Yeah,
That
that's
was, I'm gonna have
yeah,
the
Stephen
freeze,
pushed.
obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough to see from that angle, but it didn't look like there's too much damage to either cars. Obviously, with pit stops happening, he'll be able to get a fast repair there.
It's gonna be a better angle. Eric is making a move on Steven real time. Oh yeah, that was a touch.
Oh, that was pretty solid, actually. Yeah, that'll be not ideal. But yeah, here we go. Eric Blixt trying to make it happen again on Stephen Phillips. Not sure which one is on the outside here. I think it's Steven. But we've definitely seen drivers able to
It's Simon's
keep their position.
round.
Whoa! And Simon did exactly what Daniel Solo did, just locked the rear axle, spun it around, probably just a bit too late on the brakes there. Meanwhile, Eric has finally gotten it done. So a disastrous single corner, really, for Simon Trendle. He finds himself in 8th position, while his main championship rival sits in 2nd. So just a big, like I said, a disaster of a corner there for Simon. Yeah, just lock the rear axle and lazy spin. You know, no damage done, obviously, but well, lots of damage in terms of track position, as we've got most of the field in the pits here. David Burns, Jamie Wilson, Vincent Skilbeck, Simon Trendle, Greg Carr all find themselves in pit lane. Simon, I think, will be happy to get off of those tires. Don't want to drag it out when you've got overheated tires like that. But Stephen Phillips not letting Eric Blixt get away here. He's keeping the pressure on as they head up the hill.
The only last chance for Simon to grab some position back on Eric is actually to undercut.
Yes. It is tough, though, in these cars. You don't get that outlap benefit that you did in the old cars. I mean, in the old cars, you could just push like crazy on the outlap and gain a ton of time.
Yes.
But if Eric's smart, I think he'll come in this time and just cover off that from Simon. As we've got a battle between the BSTV Esports cars. Rob Venn going for a move around Tony Walker there. Currently for 7th and 8th place, although obviously they still owe us a pit stop here. Let's see, is Eric gonna make his way to pit road this time? It's pretty wide. Nope, doesn't look like it, but we do see Rob Woodhouse peeling off from the back of these three. Yeah, Eric is pushing hard. He's certainly not fuel saving right now, as is that Jamie letting Simon through there? I think it was.
It does look like that, yes.
Yeah, so is the benefit of having teammates around you. They'll let you go usually, unless it's NQR teammates, and then they'll try and wreck you. But ooh, a little wide there for Tony Walker, but this battle is continuing on. In behind Craig Lautenslager, he's a little bit further up the road here from this group, but Ivan now putting the pressure on Tony here.
I think he made a
So interesting, of the cars who have pit, the current leader is Rob Woodhouse, who's just come out of the pits, and he's got David Burns not too far behind him. They've got a big gap, though, to Simon Trendle, who sits in 11th position as it stands, third of the cars who have pit. It'll be interesting to see where that all shakes out. I think he'll be behind Michael, Eric, and Steven once they come out of the pits, barring issues. But I'm not sure where exactly that'll all play into.
Eric's in.
Yeah, and surely this is awareness of that group who has pit and done the undercut. We're right at the halfway point, so it's the mathematically preferred time to make your pit stop. Just split the race in half, and that's what Eric's decided to do.
And David just did the fastest sector 2.
Yeah, clearly the undercut paying off for David Burns here.
Simon did, not David.
Oh, Simon did. Okay, yeah. So either way, clearly the undercut paying off, although as we saw, Simon's still a bit further behind. So here comes Eric out of the pits. Where's it going to fit in? Well, he's behind...
He's behind the 2 BSTV guys, but in front of Ivan, which is himself in front of
Rob Woodhouse, who was the leader of the Cars Who Pit. Oh, and that was a heck of a lunge there from Rob Woodhouse. A bit, yeah.
Optimistic.
I don't think that one was on, but he was way behind Ivan there.
Oh yes. Jeez.
It's interesting because it seems like Ivan was maybe just backing out a little bit, and caught Rob unawares. But yeah, not the place to go for a dive. As Eric's now around Tony. And Rob trying desperately to make some ground up. Tony peels to the inside to let Rob through. That's good of him. Does look like Eric will get the move on Rob here. As Stephen Phillips is in pit lane and already in pit exit, there's a chance that Stephen's going to come out ahead of this crew. Oh, it's going to be close.
Ooh.
Oh, as Rob has a big moment and hits Stephen Phillips. Oh my goodness. So Rob, with a huge sideways moment, caught Stephen Phillips, who is coming out of the pit exit lane. I don't think Stephen was going to overhaul Eric, but he was going to be ahead of Rob Woodhouse. Let's just take a look at this one. So Rob, yeah, just got caught off guard by Eric, pinching him a little bit and running wide. And then didn't realize that Steven was coming out of the pit lane, just kind of drifted over and cut him off. So tough break for Stephen Phillips. Oh, and now more contact there with David Burns. A bit of a late move by David there to try and cover off the inside. We caught it a little late, but it looked to me like Stephen Phillips was already there.
I did let him go back in front, though.
Yeah, so Stephen redressing the position there, it looks like. Yeah, let's take a look here. So, yeah, David was defending hard, but... yeah, Stephen's... ooh. It's tough to say. It did seem like David turned in a little bit early, but, Stephen... He needed David not to turn to make the corner. Oh, no! Simon and Ivan getting together there. And we were talking about all it would take is a disastrous race for Simon to bring people right back into this championship. And
yeah, I think Ivan is going in the pits, and
yeah,
that pit entry is just
it's not a good pit entry. I will say, he was on the brakes for a while there. Definitely was time for Simon to react and avoid, but man, Simon now sitting in 10th position with all of the pit stops having cycled through except the two Alcantech cars, Michael Halfadason and Daniel Solo, so and Rob Venn as well. So a couple or three drivers that Simon will still be able to get by, but just a disaster for him, and really going to turn this championship on its head heading into Imola.
It's going to make for an interesting last race, that's for sure. Because Simon had like 27 points. Oh no, we're not sorted by drop scores. Okay, but he still had 27 points on Eric. On the drop scores.
Okay, well that'll be gone already. Ooh, there's a little side-to-side contact there between Vince and Stephen Phillips. Stephen trying to make that pass happen. I think he's got it now. As Vince having a good run. Oh dear. Well, that looked like Vince just spun him. I don't know what else to say there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe try to anticipate the corner and yeah.
I guess he was hoping Steven would turn in. It seemed like Vince, though, just turned in at the normal point. You got to know that the car inside is not gonna turn in at the normal point. Tony Kloosterman, one of the last cars to make a pit stop. Rob Venn, the only other one we're still waiting on. He's hanging on to 4th place here. Doing a good job is Rob, but that'll obviously need to come away unless he's doing some crazy mega fuel save, which if I know Rob, he is not. So he'll be in the pits before too long, but hanging on to 4th for now, ahead of Jamie Wilson. Ooh, is another spin. Man, we are seeing all sorts of drivers making mistakes. That was Greg Carr going around, which elevates Stephen Phillips back up into 10th position. As Jamie Wilson gets by Rob Venn. It's a good round for Jamie. If only that helped Simon in the championship, it would be a bit of consolation. But you know, Jamie's not too terrible. Well, he's 11 seconds off of a podium, but a 4th place is a really, really good effort for Jamie.
So funnily enough, I just sorted the scores on the website by drop scores, and someone popped up in 3rd position. Guess who?
You're gonna have to clue me in.
Well, he's not here tonight, so he's gonna drop the 3rd position again.
Oh, Kenzie.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, which is not a surprise. He'd already missed 1 round this season, but has been quick when he's been here, as usual for Kenzie, our reigning champion. So, yeah, as you said, once this round's over, I think he'll be well out of the championship picture. But here we see David Burns closing in on Jamie. Does seem like David has the pace to make this happen fairly quickly. But we know Jamie's a good defender, so I can't imagine it'll be immediate. A little lower down the field, Stephen Phillips is putting pressure on Simon Trendle, which could just make Simon's day go from bad to worse. Because honestly, from what we've seen, Stephen has the pace to compete. So big slide there from Jamie. That's going to open the door for David Burns, and I think this one is pretty done and dusted. But we'll see how it shakes out once they exit turn 1. Jamie trying to get the crossover, but don't think that'll happen. But here we have Simon, and Steven has got by, so...
Yeah, I think something's wrong with Simon's car.
Yeah.
I think I saw damage at the front, which I'm not sure because of the headlight. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Yeah. But, yeah, definitely not on the pace we would expect.
Yes, definitely damage.
Wouldn't be surprising at all if he's carrying some damage from that incident with Ivan. It was pretty hard contact, so might just be affecting him here. But a spot back on the recovery drive for Stephen Phillips. Next up the road is Ant Woodward. That's probably as far as he would get. unless Vince decides to give that position back once Steven's in behind him. But
well, it's a long way away. I'm not sure they're gonna close in on Vincent before the end of the race.
no, I was just thinking if Steven is able to get to 7th place, Vince might drop back, but that is a bit far, and maybe better just to let things shake out. See if Steven will accept an apology. Ooh, a little connection issue there for Jamie Wilson. That'll be a concern. Looks like he's back now. As Simon hanging on to Steve. Ooh, trouble for Ant there. Way wide in turn 1. Does he have damage? Or is he just getting back up to speed with the
He's
tires?
gotta slow down.
That would make sense.
Still on
So
the
that-
slow down. There we go.
Yeah, it's clear now. We'll see if that was enough for Steven to get through here. Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Michael Haflidason leading comfortably over his teammate. It will be interesting to see if, excuse me, it will be interesting to see if we see any sort of team orders swap around there. I doubt it, because as we've mentioned, Michael Haflidason is still well in this championship and fighting for his own spots here.
Yeah,
But,
and with Simon's debacle today, maybe they're gonna think about it twice and not just give the place to Eric now.
Yeah, that is the tough part when you've got two teammates in championship contention. So I don't imagine we'll see anything there, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. Rob Woodhouse currently in that final spot on the podium, looking very comfortable. David Burns not really in shouting distance, barring a significant incident for one of the top three. The battle is going to be for those spots outside the podium today, I think, as we've got Stephen Phillips taking a look to the inside of Ant Woodward. Not going to get it done there, but maybe able to set something up for the next corner, although he's opened himself up a little bit there to Simon. Everything's settled down as they head through turn number 5. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. What do we have here? This is Rob Venn, I believe. Ooh, just a little spin. And that, honestly, I think is the same thing we've seen at the top of the hill. Just a little too late on the brakes, locked up the rear axle and just carried him around. Simon continuing to put the pressure on. We've also got Vincent Skillbeck putting a little bit of pressure on Jamie Wilson, further ahead of this group.
Did something happen to Hand, right? Yes. I was trying to wonder where is the car that was battling with Steven, and it is only.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, because, man, this track, this track must be pretty greasy. I mean, we've seen so many drivers making mistakes. Side by side for 5th place, I believe it's Jamie on the inside here and Vince on the outside. Vince is going to try and do the cutback, but it looks like Jamie's going to cover that off for now. Again, this is the battle for 5th place here. And we mentioned those team points with Dave Burns up in fourth. Jamie is flying the flag for Team Chimera at the moment. He's going to want to maximize what he can for the team championship. Does seem like Vince has a bit more pace, though, at this point. As he takes a look to the inside, he's late on the brakes. That's a risky move. Oh, he just gets it slowed up. But
He got the rear locked up as well.
yeah, and he had to keep it tight, and that allowed Jamie to carry the speed around the outside. So, yeah, it was always going to be a tough one to pull off. Just managed it. We do have a apology in the chat from Rob Venn to Stephen Phillips for messing him up coming out of the pits. Does look like after his spin, Rob's decided to retire. Just a tough day for him, so hate to see that, but understandable.
Yeah, I think on that pit incident, I think the issue is not. I think if I remember, Rob was straight, but the issue is the pit road just actually comes into the it narrows up. So from the pit exit, you have to come inside the track a little bit.
It does, and I think from what it looked like, Rob was trying to, because he had to swerve to the inside because Eric was slow exiting the corner. I think he might have been worried that Eric was. Ooh, well, that is interesting. We've got a black flag for Simon Trendle. I think that might just be an incident point limit drive of shame.
Well, I will not look because it will be displayed on everything, but it might be, yes.
Yeah, that is
a few car contact, at least 2, I think, if I remember, plus fewer tracks, so that will make it, yes.
Yeah, that is that's brutal. I mean, we were already talking.
It would be out
ninth place is a tough day, but this will drop him to at least 12th, if not maybe even 13th or 14th. So now something at some point must have happened to Stephen Walker, because he was leading not too long before the pit cycle, and he is in 14th place. So he must have had a penalty of some kind, maybe a pit entry penalty, because he spent. That must have been it must have been an unsafe pit entry, which makes sense given his contact with Stephen Phillips. So that's a tough break for Stephen Walker there. As more pressure here from Vince on Jamie. No, sorry, this is Daniel Solo on Simon. Got my Chimera cars mixed up in the dark. As Simon peels off to serve that penalty, and just what a disastrous day for his championship chances. This is gonna.
Is this the first time I see Simon do a driver shame?
I can't remember another, but I'm sure he'll tell us if it's not. But
yeah, but at least I don't remember seeing one.
Yeah, but at the moment, it's all coming up Alcantech in the championship fight here.
That's Simon exiting in front of the battle between Greg Carr and Craig. I'm surprised in P10. I was expecting him to be behind these two, so that's good for Simon.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick run through pit lane then, which makes sense. It's a pretty short front straight. As the Walker brothers going at it, Steven looks like he'll get it done, but Tony certainly didn't make it easy there. And that is a lapped car, I believe. Getting out of the way of Michael.
Car, yes, I think that was Tony. Yeah, 15th
yes, I believe
position
it was.
is Tony.
And we are on the last lap here.
Yep.
Yep.
Great minds.
So Yeah, doesn't look like we're going to see any team orders here from Alcantech, which, as we said, Michael Haflidason very much in this championship fight, so certainly not something he needs to do. But yeah, I think Eric will be a little bit miffed about. I think this could have been a double win weekend for him. But hard to complain when you get a first and a second and your main championship rival is looking like a third and a 10th, so, or a fourth and a 10th, wasn't it? So yeah, good news for him for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know which one was a drop round for Simon, but this one's probably gonna be it.
Yes. Yeah, I think this will be. And that is the good news. I mean, you know, it's helpful for Simon that he's done every round. To have that, to be able to drop this rough one. But Michael Haflidason not going to be dropping this one. He crosses the line, takes the win. Second round in or second race meeting in a row with a win for him. So that's really, really great showing. Eric Blixt and Rob Woodhouse rounding out the podium. Quiet race for Rob. He just kind of cruised home into third there. David Burns grabs fourth, and it does look like Jamie will hold off Vince for fifth place. It's interesting after how hectic the end of race one was. Everybody a bit spread out in race number two. Though all the chaos seemed to happen in the middle part
Before
of the
the
race.
stops, yes.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Field continues on through. It is 10th place for Simon Trendle. Greg Carr, Craig Lautenslager, 11th and 12th.
Oh, jeez. You can't see anything when they get the lights off.
Steven making it tough on his brother, and it does look like Tony was able to hold him off, so good effort there from Tony Walker. Generally, I think Steven's the more, certainly the more experienced of the Walker brothers, but Tony did well to hang on there. So, Michael Haflidason, your race 2 winner, round 10 here. He sends it into the fence, I think. Eric Blixt grabs second place to make it an Alcantech top 2 lockout, and Rob Woodhouse comes home third for NQR. David Burns grabs fourth, Jamie Wilson in fifth, managed to hold off Vince Skilbeck at the end there. Daniel Solo was seventh, Stephen Phillips recovered to eighth, Ant Woodward was ninth, ahead of Simon Trendle, who just, as we said, disaster of a day. Greg Carr was 11th, ahead of Craig Lautenslager. Then it was the Walker brothers, Tony from Steven in 13th and 14th. Tony Klusterman grabbed 15th. And Ivan Baumans was our last running car in 16th, ahead of Rob Venn, who retired early, and Jeff Saunders, who didn't take the start. So I believe Sam said we're going to be short on interviews today, so apologies if anyone doesn't get pulled in. But we do have our race 2 winner, Michael Haflidason. How you doing?
No, I'm doing very good after a win.
Yeah, I think you and Eric, it's safe to say, pretty much maximized your day today.
Yeah, I was hoping for a double win, but I had a very, very bad start in the first race, and then obviously all the chaos with Simon struggling a bit there to get past, and then Eric was just gone after that, and my tires were way over the line of good.
Yeah, I will say your teammate certainly did you a solid in race number 2. As hard as you raced Simon in race number 1, he did the same in the second one there. So worked out for you, I think, with both of you having pretty easy wins there. It's never easy, but 5 seconds in this league is pretty comfortable, I'd say.
I showed the pace last race as well in Thruxton at race 1, where I again had a bad start in race 1, lost the lead, and then got it back, and I think I walked it with 7 seconds or something in the end. It's like the speed has been there. Like getting to grips with it slowly in the start of the season, kind of struggling the first 1-2 rounds, and then having a bad race every race. But this was the first weekend where I have had 2 really good races, and I mean the speed has been there for a few weeks, and we're starting to show it now.
Yeah, it brings up the all important question with you and Eric both firmly in championship contention. Are there any team orders? Obviously, Eric's in a little bit better of a position heading into to the last round at Imola. Are we going to see you helping him out, or are you fighting for the championship yourself?
No, like if I can, if Blix doesn't have a really bad race, of course I'll help him out. I won't give him any positions or something. That's not anything we've ever done in the team. We've always raced like, if you have more pace, I will help you, or if you're ahead, I will help you, kind of situation. But I won't give him any position. Obviously, I want it for myself, but I know, having had a lot of bad races, I'll kind of on the back foot. I'm surprised I'm still in the hunt. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Blix is fast and I'm fast, so it's just who gets more comfortable at Imola, I guess.
That makes sense. Well, we look forward to seeing you there. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Solo for coming up with the idea of wrecking in turn 2 after the second race.
Very good. Well, congratulations. Second place and a win doesn't get much better than that. And we'll see you in Imola.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
And now for you, Sam, I've got our race 1 winner and race 2 runner-up, Eric Blixt.
Oh man, you actually asked me to do interviews. Okay, well, Eric, welcome to the booth. Pretty good night for you today.
Yeah, I mean, a 1 and 2 and a 2 and 1. That's good, I guess, and then good for the team as well.
Good for you, good for the team, good for your teammate as well in the championship fight. We just asked him what he thinks about the championship, if he's got a shot and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
I mean, I didn't come into the season with any hopes of what I wanted to achieve. I just wanted to have some fun, see where we can get, I guess. Just get up some good results and keep getting pretty high positions. I mean, Thruxton was the first setback, I think. Well, after Phillip Island, when we forgot to fuel accordingly to the sprint. But yeah, overall, so far, we've been pretty even on the top 3-5, around there.
Definitely. Well, you said last race was a setback for you. Tonight was a real setback for Simon, your actual main rival in the championship. How do you see that coming into the last race into Imola?
I don't know. I mean, Simon is probably has driven this car the most, I guess. So we'll see. Drive some officials, see if we can find some pace. Hopefully not get disqualified from the off tracks. That's probably my main goal. Don't end up with one incident to go.
Yeah, incident at Imola are pretty tough. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting for sure for us, at least in the booth. Definitely.
It's a long race as well.
It's a long race as well. You don't have. Yeah, you cannot make any mistakes because that one's an enduro. There's only one race. You're not getting back in the second one. It's just one from start to finish, and you need to finish it right to get yourself the championship. Hopefully you like Imola.
It's okay. I like the old one better, with the more like track limits. But if you can get some laps on it, it's fine.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. We'll surely see you in 3 weeks. Anybody we want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, the team and PVDK for the setups, I guess. Those setups every week, so can't not thank him. We've been using them the whole season.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you in Imola in 3 weeks.
Yeah, see ya.
All right. Well, fortunately, those Swedes make for quick interviews, so we've got time for I think a couple more. If you're good, Sam.
Let's go.
We'll grab race 3 podium finisher, Rob Woodhouse. How you doing?
Yeah, good guys, good.
I've got to say we didn't see you much in race 2. It seemed like you were pretty much in your own little world there, but you were right in the mix of all the chaos in race number 1 for sure.
Yes, yeah, definitely is. I knew I didn't have the outright pace, but I was there or thereabouts. So while Michael and Simon were having a little play together, I was able to capitalise, but I knew it was going to be short-lived. But yeah, just hung in and just tried to do my laps, but it just wasn't enough for Michael and Eric. They're just, yeah, on one at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like those Alcantech guys showed up and set the new benchmark. I mean, it's great for us as the broadcasters, because it's nice, especially since I think Simon's there too, and it makes for good racing up front, but it also makes for tough asking for everybody else. But you managed to pull off that podium in race 2. Was it as sedate of a race for you as it seemed like, or did you have some good battles?
Yeah, it was, just trying to hang on to the pack ahead. I got Jamie at the end of lap 1, I think, start of lap 2, and it's sort of like, right, let's see if we can go with these guys, and we'd start to bridge a gap, and then they'd concertina up, and then Jamie was right on me again, and then we'd start to bridge away again, and it just seemed like there was a little bottleneck running through the pack, and it just kept pulling me back, and I just stuck with it, run my laps. And what was it? Just shortly before the pit stop, I think Simon had a half spin at the corner at the bottom of the hit. Was it turn 4? I think downhill braking. And I was like, right, if I keep a podium's on here if I can keep this together. So yeah, I was hanging with it, and then I think Eric got past Stephen. And so then it was like, right, I'm either pitting this, I'm going to do the opposite of what Stephen does. And Stephen stayed out. So I was like, right, let's pit, push. And yeah, went for it, came out behind Eric. And it was like, right, next few laps, let's try and hang with him. I mean, David was right on my bumper, but through the traffic, I mean, I did have a bit of a send on Ivan. But I thought he saw me coming and was hanging wide. And then all of a sudden we were together on the apex. But yeah, it's like I just had to keep my head down and try and go because I knew the podium was on.
I did want to ask about that incident with Ivan, because it looked a bit strange from our angle. Was it a late break for you, or was it just a matter of they were all checked up and you found yourself on the inside there?
I think it's a bit of I'm on, I think it's a second lap after the pits. So I was on fresh tyres and I was entering that braking zone right on my point. And maybe Ivan was just sort of like at the end of his stint, so taking it easy a little bit. And yeah, that's what I thought. I was, it was definitely a lap or so because I gained on him through the lap previous. And I thought, right, he's seen me here, he's not pitted, it's going to let me by. And then it was like all of a sudden, as I turned for the apex, he started turning in. I'm like, no. But yeah, managed to scrape through and push on. But it was one of those moves. It sort of like paid for the race because when I looked at the delta a couple of laps later, David that was right on my bumper was like nearly 10 seconds back, and that's what got me the podium.
Yep. Well, yeah, good stuff. A solid podium result, and as you said, it's tough to match the pace those guys at the front are putting out. But you've had some really solid runs. And showing some great pace yourself. So is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys for stepping up and taking on the broadcast. It's really been good watching you guys week on week going through the races. Been enjoying watching them back. All the guys that have turned up, and all the guys in the team, and a shout out to Michael, Eric and Daniel. They're all turning up for the SOF races on a Thursday, and it's really good to have seen them, start the SOF races and be there or thereabouts, and they've, really, stuck at it, and they're getting the results they deserve for their hard work. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Awesome. Well, Congratulations again on your podium, and we'll see you
Yeah,
in
thank
in
you.
3 weeks' time in Imola.
Yes, yes. All right. Take care, guys. All the best. Bye bye.
All right, Sam. If you're up for another interview, I've got lead Team Chimera driver Jamie Wilson for you.
Oh yes, he is the lead camera driver, at least for the second race today. Jamie, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Oh, good. What's that second race for you?
That I think that was the biggest disparity between race 1 and race 2 in terms of enjoyability that I can remember for a long time. Because race 1 was great, and race 2 was less great.
Well, race 1 was definitely great for us, and honestly, race 2 was as well, from a broadcast point of view. But I can understand for the drivers, it was probably not the same. So, what happened to you
It
in
wasn't.
race 2?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the light factor. It was all a bit chaotic in race 2. Like the opening lap was just nuts. But in a sort of like danger way, as opposed to a thrilling way, I suppose is the way I'd describe it. Yeah, and I ended up where I was out of just other people's misfortune more than my own skill or anything. So it was one of those sort of races with people tripping over each other and tripping over themselves, and a lot of that sort of stuff going on.
Well, from our point of view, race 2, the first lap looked great, honestly. It looked well controlled and not too many issues, but apparently was a bit more hectic than we expected. That's interesting.
Yeah, it may have just been it may have just been a me thing where I'd kind of lost track of where everyone was halfway through that lap. Like, there's just so much going on. I got a bit overwhelmed with it all, to be honest. I say like I'm talking about like out of the turn 3 hairpin and stuff. Like I just had to just guess where people were because I couldn't keep track of everyone. So, and that's where it gets dangerous, and you end up accidentally putting people on the grass or that kind of thing. And I don't know. It just felt a bit sort of ugh when you were in it, I suppose.
I
As
see.
opposed to
Well,
hell yeah, on race 1. So
yeah, honestly, it made for a good broadcast. I'm sure you all enjoy watching it back because there was some amazing battle at some championship turning points, probably. Although with the drop score, we'll have
yeah,
to see after the results. But yeah, your team had a rough one in race 2.
yeah. I mean, we haven't had a great day overall, really, because we did the Suzuka 1000 this afternoon, and it ended up being like the Suzuka 28 or whatever it was. It worked out at.
Yeah, typical event,
Yeah,
I guess.
someone else's, and that was just a story of everyone else's accidents all the time, constantly,
Yep.
and that sort of thing. So we've been gearing up for that for a while, and so we're already not in a great state of mind, to be honest, after that. So race 2 in particular was just very difficult, for Simon as well, having various sort of struggles and everything happening all at once. And yeah, we'll see what happens with drop scores and that kind of thing.
Yep, as you said, it's going to be interesting with the drop score. I'm sure this one will be his drop, no matter what. But hopefully, you both will have a better race at Imola, last race of the season, championship finale, big endurance race. You all thought about that one?
Yeah, we actually did an endurance in the Gen 2 cars, or Gen 1 cars, I guess they are, years ago around Imola, which was an SCO off-season event, which was like a 6-hour race around there. So I remember that being good fun with curb strikes. So this car is well set up to handle very anti-alto at the top of the hill. So that'll be interesting trying to attack that every lap. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. And yeah, I mean, it makes a change from our usual sort of endurance tracks, your Sandowns and Bathurst and that kind of thing. So yeah, should be good.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Anybody you want to thanks? I'll give a shout out to you before we let you go.
Yeah, I just want to shout out by Stephen Walker and Ant Woodward, because that race 1 battle was amazing between the 3 of us the whole time. So, and actually, I think all three of us put footage up. So when I've got mine up as well, I'll it might be a good one to watch. It's sort of synced across the 3 videos because we couldn't we were inches apart for the whole race. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Good one. That's a good thing for people to do after watching our broadcast, obviously. But
Well,
anyway,
you can sync it with
Jamie.
the broadcast as well. Easy enough.
Oh yeah, with everything at the same time. That might be actually pretty good. Anyway, we still have one more people to interview, so we're gonna let you go. Have a good evening, and we'll see you at Imola.
Cheers, guys.
All right, our last interviewee of the night, Vince. How's it going?
It's going good.
How's it going? I don't know if you can hear him, Sam. I'm having trouble.
There's a massive echo.
Yeah, I still have the stream running, so that's all right. I just muted it.
There we
Good.
go. Well, Vince, I think maybe one of the cleaner rounds for you this season. Obviously, the incident with Stephen Phillips in race 2, but as far as I know, solid run in race 1 and a good finish for you in race 2 with P6 there.
Yeah, race 1 didn't really go to plan for me. I didn't really actually go anywhere. I think I started 12th and finished 12th, so yeah, didn't really go anywhere there. But race 2, I made a setup change during the warm up, so the car felt a bit better. Second race, had some pretty good fights. Managed to miss the incident between Ivan and Simon, which, looking back at the replay, looked just unfortunate for Simon, not knowing that Ivan was trying to pit. And then had fun trying to catch Jamie at the end of the race. Had a little dive at turn 1, which didn't pay off, and then I had the incident with Simon, which we've talked over, and all was good there. It was all on me. It was just I turned in at the same turning point that I usually do, and Simon just kept going straight forward and wasn't actually going to turn. So it was just 2 into 1. This didn't go that time.
Yeah, fair enough. And really, really fun battle in the closing laps with Jamie there. It seemed like you just didn't have the tires to overhaul him at the end.
I think we pitted on the same lap, but I think Jamie's tires fell off a bit more than what mine did. But after that move at turn 1 that didn't work out, my tires were just a little bit hot, and it took me a little bit to get back to Jamie, but all as well. Seemed to work out for me tonight. I think I found that I have to be a lot more aggressive. I did notice I was a lot more aggressive this race, which actually has kept me alive. So I was just saying to Stephen that I think I might just have to drive uber aggressive against people, still giving them racing space, but be very aggressive with them to keep myself alive. It seemed to work, so I'll see how we go.
Yeah, it certainly seemed to work out for you there. But I guess the important question is, did you have more fun today than you have the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I did have a lot more fun today. It was good fun.
Good stuff. Well, glad you were able to enjoy that. Do you have anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, everyone in the league for turning up, even the new guys that have started the season, and even Craig that's just started in the last couple of races. Good to see that he didn't give up after one race, or I think it was his first race tonight. I swear he raced last week, but yeah. You guys for the broadcast, SimAbility for sponsoring the season, and Catch you guys next week.
Awesome. Yep, we will see you at 3 weeks' time. We do have an important reminder for everybody. We do have an extra week gap because of schedules for the last round. So we'll make sure everybody knows. But yeah, we'll see you at Imola, Vince.
Yeah, catch you guys. Have a good rest.
Yeah, Vince.
All right. Well, Sam has just slipped me the championship standings, and we are going to have a heck of a battle as we head into Imola. Oh, and he's even got him up. Wow.
Yeah,
This is what happens when you have a professional broadcast lead broadcaster instead of whatever I'm.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. I just have more access on the
website.
website than you do. That's it.
So we've got our championship standings up on the screen. I was doing a little bit of quick math, and if we have the same number of cars make the start, it means that only Simon and Eric are mathematically in contention for the championship, but I will double check on that. I think Michael is just a bit too far out of it unless we get a really big grid for Imola. And of course, we'd love to have a really big grid for Imola. If you're tuned into the broadcast and you're not racing, you're missing out, and we hope to see you there. But man, what an incredible championship battle we're going to have. I mean, assuming they finish in the top.
Well, if
so,
Simon wins, Simon wins. But if Eric wins,
Yes.
Eric wins, basically. Because there's
pretty
20
much
points gap.
whoever finishes ahead is going to be the winner. Maybe some minor math in there, but yeah, pretty much
If they both
whoever wins
finish
is
in the
going to
top
win.
5, the first one, the one ahead of the other, will win the championship because there's
Yes.
over 10 points, 10 or over 10 points in the first 5 spots.
Yep.
So that's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be easy for us to calculate because they're so close. And Michael still have a shot if he get the pole, the fastest lap, and if Simons gets more incident points than Michael.
Good point. I was not factoring in bonus points, so that's
finish at the very bottom. He needs a lot of incident points to make up the difference. But he's not out yet because there's 200 points to win if you win the race. So yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. So again, as Tyler said, reminder, it's gonna be in 3 weeks. I will post it on Discord as well, so everybody knows and is aware of it. If people don't watch till the end of the broadcast, which they shouldn't do, but it's okay. Not everybody wants to sit through the interviews. I'm gonna say thanks to all the chatters, Chesney and Afa. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name. It was pretty animated on the chat today, so that's great to see. Thanks all the drivers. Honestly, from a broadcast point of view, despite the darkness in race 2, it was absolutely insane and amazing to watch and to commentate on. So thanks again. I'm looking forward to Imola. Tyler, thank you for joining me today. That was
we do
awesome.
Importantly have to pick drivers of the day before we
yes, I forgot about that.
sign off.
It's been so long. I completely forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Because yes, I completely forgot. Honestly, in race 1, I had my driver of the meeting, but it completely went sideways in race 2. Because I think the pass on the outside from Simon was insane in race 1, but we're gonna slip that because it wasn't a great night for Simon.
So do you have one picked?
Honestly, man, it's tough. It's really tough. Because there's so many drivers that did great, but I think I have one. But go ahead, go on.
Okay. Well, I think mine is a fair pick. Interestingly, no one really, besides the 2 Alcantech cars, no one really had a great race 1 and race 2. I am going to give it to Stephen Phillips. I think he had a really excellent race 1 with some great driving. I think his incidents in race 2, both the one with Stephen Walker and the one with Vince, were not really his own doing. So all things considered, certainly in terms of who put on the best show, my vote is for Stephen Phillips.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome pick. Mine's gonna go to Rob Woodhouse. I think he did okay in race 1, and he managed to make his way stealthy in the podium in race 2, and that was a good one because he was the only one still in touch with the first 2 guys in race 2. So yeah, that was a pretty good race for him.
I think that is totally fair. That's a great call. So, all right. Well, that will wrap up our broadcast tonight. Once again, we'll see everybody in 3 weeks for the championship finale at Imola. It's going to be a great one. But until then, have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Sam, I'll leave it to you to close it out.
Yep. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks again for joining me today, and we'll see you at Imola. Enjoy the evening or the day for you, Vincent.